My name is Keith Martin. I'm the director of Spectrum A&E Media. The A&E stands for Artistic and Educational. Our focus these past 10 years has been on two major themes, the environment and hunger and poverty, which are, in my mind, two of the most pressing themes that we could address. And what we are doing under a program called Inspiring Students to Care, partnering with Rotary clubs right across Ontario, is we're placing these in as many schools as we can. The history goes way back to when I was a student in university. I had a chance to work on a multimedia production called Street Level with other university students, and even that grew out of seeing a production similar in the States, and we thought, why don't we do something like that here in Canada? So we got a grant from the federal government to do this multimedia culture probe that we called Street Level, and out of that I had a chance to work with other students that are interested in media. So in the early 80s we actually started Spectrum under the name Spectrum Productions in Regina, of all places, where I was living at the time. And we did two productions, one called In Search of a Sun, using the analogy that we are like planets needing something to focus on or orbit around in our lives. And then the second one was called Say It Isn't True, which was an inquiry. First one was inquiry into values, the second one inquiry into faith. Because this came out of kind of my wrestling with the big questions in university, became an agnostic for a good part of university years, and then came back to a kind of a more thoughtful kind of Christian faith. I was looking for a non-religious but spiritually caring fellowship, and got invited to Rotary, tried it out, found that they have a real passion, especially for hunger and poverty worldwide. And so I said, I have a multimedia show that I would love to get into schools, but we need a partner. And what happened is that first our club and then clubs right across our district, and now we have 39 clubs have helped us transfer the two productions that we had in slide format onto DVD, and they've now been approved by 42 school boards and placed in about 1,100 schools. What keeps encouraging me, I've always felt that, my generation and my parents' generation, which created this mess, even though there are many responsible people my age, especially many teachers doing what they can, that unless the next generation is different than us, we've lost this planet. So what really encourages me is things like Free the Children and Me to We and We Day. These We Day rallies, thousands of students come together, get motivated to think about more than themselves, get motivated to think about the world, and then when they go back to their high school, usually it's high school, maybe senior elementary, that's when they need resources like we're trying to provide to help them take that enthusiasm about making a difference and apply it to concrete projects, whether it's environmental or whether it's to do with hunger and poverty or whatever issue it is. So that's what our resources are for schools to use to follow through on something like that, do a local, assembly presentation, and then we strongly urge schools follow it up right away with some kind of project that's going to make a difference. Because the old saying says, that I believe in, is change equals awareness plus action. So we can help bring the awareness, but unless it's put into action, it'll just dissipate, within days. When people see stuff like that on TV, you can see it every night on the news, and often the response is, well, why should I care? So actually, when we introduced the presentation in the introductory part of the DVD, we asked three questions: how serious is hunger and poverty? Why should we care? And what can we do about it? And when we get to why should we care, there's usually at least three reasons people, can think of not to care. And we address them. And for me, the primary reason to care is that these people, even though it's not me on the screen, these people are my own flesh and blood. And if that really was my family up there, you bet I would do something about it. So even though I can only reach out to a limited number of people, if I don't see them as part of the human family, I can easily turn away. Secondly, even though it wasn't me up there, it could have been me. I could have been born in Rwanda, or any place in Africa. I could have been born where half of the continent of Africa lives in extreme poverty. I could have been born in a refugee camp. I could have had an alcoholic father and been abused as a child. So not only could that have been me, but someday it still could be me. I mean, I would say we're all only most of us are only a paycheck, an illness, or a divorce away from losing our livelihood, our income, our family, whatever it is that begins that slippery slope to welfare and then off in the streets. So we followed then the first song up with, or then the second question that people often say, okay, maybe I should care, but why are we sending money to other countries when we have such a serious problem here in North America? And they're right, we have a huge problem here. So the next song is a song called Jackie Brown by John Mellencamp, and we look at hunger and poverty in our own backyard. And then at the end of that, we just ask a simple question: is there a Jackie Brown in your life? If not, why not? And then in the discussion between that song and the next song, we raise the question: what can we do about this? And all I try to do as a producer is just get people to reach out to one Jackie Brown in your community, one in another part of the world. Realize that eventually some of them will get strong enough to reach out themselves, so you can cause a ripple effect that can go on forever. Each of us can influence hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. And then I also encourage people to make sure that some of your time and effort and money, if you can give money, is going to helping people in the midst of poverty, what we call relief, and some to get out of poverty, which is what we call development. When we formed Spectrum, the environment was just one of many issues that we could have focused on, especially when we made that shift from faith-oriented productions to social concerns. But what drew me in, and this is why I'm in this media, was I heard Sorrow by Pink Floyd on the radio. And I'm the kind of person, I visualize what I hear. So I'm visualizing this song, and to this day I've never seen a music video of it. There must be one out there, but I never saw it, especially on TV. I'm sure you can find something on YouTube. But I thought someone needs to put images to this, because this is not only a timely song, but a prophetic song. I mean, this is before the Exxon Valdez crisis, that David Gilmour is singing about how our seas are going to get dark and oily, and it's a really bleak song, and it ends with all the promises that we keep breaking. So when we made this shift, I put together the first draft of Sorrow. Then I wanted something that would follow that up, so I came across a song recorded by high school students called, it was called Signs of Hope, and we just called it Hope. It had an introduction by David Suzuki, and it really began to look at what could be done after sorrow. I was looking for something that said, respect the earth or it'll be gone. And I was afraid that what I had was leaving the audience feeling too good about the earth. Joy was subtitled Celebrating the Earth as it was meant to be. So I went home and I listened to Take It Back more carefully. I listened to the lyrics and I thought, my God, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So next chance I had, I replaced Joy with Take It Back. We called the whole thing Take It Back. And to this day, I haven't heard two stronger songs than Sorrow and Take It Back. When I first show the Pink Floyd song, it's all about, how bad things are. Then I play it again at the end of the production, this time a live version from an album called Delicate Sound of Thunder. And we show what people are doing, like Me to We and others, Rotary and others are doing to make a difference. And then hope that it just plants a seed with students. Here's, all you have to do is just what you can, and that'll make a difference. All you can do is ask, if everyone was doing what I'm doing, would the world get better or not? And if you can honestly say it will get better, then you're part of the solution and not just the problem. So I hope this has given you an idea of what we're doing in our small part of the planet. And if you want to know more about Spectrum, our website is spectrummedia.ca. We also have a Facebook page that you can get to from there. And I just want to encourage you to do whatever you can to foster life-enhancing values and to inspire others to care. And if you want to bring us into your community with a presentation, I'd love to come. I'm just a few hours up the road.